Hey guys, Brian Czach here with another session Diaries. We're going to talk about the prep, we're going to talk about the gear, and we're going to talk about the playing. For this song, when it was sent to me, I listened to it and I wrote out a number chart. And I have that number chart available to you as a download. If you want to look down here in the description, I will provide a link so you can download that. It's a Nashville numbers chart. So if you don't know how to read Nashville numbers, learn. I think you should learn because it's awesome. Enough said. So that was the first thing. As I'm listening to the song, this is before the drums are on it, as it was sent to me in its original form, I'm listening for a general concept of how the drums should sound. Like, I'm asking myself while listening to the song, what does this song ask for in terms of a drum sound? What kind of drum sounds would the song benefit from? So in my crazy mind, I came up with this sort of drum scheme for this tune, which I felt fit because I just started experimenting with different drums, different cymbals, different combinations of the two, and so on and so forth, and just kind of jamming along with the song before I hit the record button. Basically, in a nutshell, I came up with two very different parts for the song. One of which is a super tight drum and bass kind of sound, and the other one is a more loosey-goosey, halftime feel, kind of wide open type of sound. So that was what I ended up going with on this. Okay, let's talk about the gear. So, like I said, there's two very different sounds. So in order to get those two different sounds, I essentially used two different drum kits. Now that's not entirely true because the toms are, well, I didn't use toms at all in the first section, and in the second section I did use the toms. They're Camco. It's a Camco drum kit. Part 1 is using a recording custom bass drum, 22-inch Yamaha, of course, and like I said, Camco toms for the part 2. Those are Camco LA maple model. Snare drum for part 1, I'm using a Ludwig Superphonic, tuned up pretty good, probably like medium tight, and I'm using a cymbal cutout that was once made for me by a friend. It's a very heavy, if you pick it up, it's like a disc almost. And if you hit it on a stand, it goes dong. It makes like a tone. It doesn't really, it's not a splash cymbal, although it looks kind of like a splash cymbal. But if you pick it up, you'd know that it's more bell-like. So I've got that placed on the snare head to give me this really, what it does is it takes the snare drum pitch and it tunes it way up. It makes it really short and staccato as well. So it's great for getting these sort of super intricate staccato drum and bass kind of like funk patterns. It makes it super articulate. It's really a lot of fun to fool around with that. Hi-hats, I used a makeshift 10-inch pair of splash cymbals. The bottom cymbal is a normal Agop Exist 10-inch splash cymbal, and the top is a 10-inch Ion splash cymbal, the one with the holes in it. So it's got a real trashy kind of vibe to it, and very, very thin. Both cymbals very, very thin. Very, sensitive to the touch there. Like I said, no toms. As well as, you know, drum choices, I went with a really tight sounding miking situation. So I'm really only using close mic sounds. I'm not using any room or ambient mics in the sound of the part one. Part two, where I'm using more of a traditional sort of drum kit sound, is a wide open kit, so no more muffling. The snare, I'm using a Ludwig hammered bronze 6.5 by 14. And I'm playing it with the butt end of the stick, just to get that extra thick, throaty, buzz kind of sound. I switched out the kick drum to my LA Camco bass drum, which is wide open, no muffling, 2 solid heads. And the way I mic that is I have a Audix D6 on the front, that is on the batter side, pointed at where the beater meets the head for the articulation, and then I have a sub kick out in the front of the drum, as it were, so you have the sub frequency there, and you get all the bass and rumble there. All right, toms, like I said, wide open, tuned down from where I normally would tune them, so real low, almost floppy. Okay, cymbals, big and dark, washy, and the hi-hats I'm using are 2 17-inch crashes. The bottom is a Exist 17, and the top is a Exist Ion 17. Or maybe they're 16s. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. I think there's... Drum and bass groove. It's got like... First of all, I gotta say, to get this groove to sound and feel right, I had to play it super light. Okay, so you're watching me play super soft. You know, no big hits, no big accents. It's all about touch and just soft hands, but you know, it's intense. It's like 16th notes all broken up between the kick, snare, and hat. All right, so that's the first thing. It's a really intricate part. It's dense. There's a lot of notes. There's a lot of ghost notes, and like I said, 16th notes, sort of subdivision stuff going on there. Now, in the part two, where I'm playing the other kit, it's halftime feel. It's got just a wide open, I'm on the ride, a lot less notes, just letting the drums, the tonality of the drums just sing right out. Okay, going real vibey, like just let the drums breathe, using more of the ambient mics that are in the room and around the kit, and less of the close mics. All right, and then lastly, I did some overdubs on this, and I had this hand clapper that I'll have to show you here, a picture of, and also some tambourine hits and things like that. So I just wanted to make mention of that because you might be wondering where that was coming from. So yeah, here it is. This is called Meant for Two by Justin Mather and Jeff Greenleaf. I'm so glad to be working with those guys. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.